This is the story about the old Kofa Mine. This old mine is located about 60-odd miles northeast of Yuma, Arizona. It was back in 1896 that prospector Charles Eichelberger discovered some gold in the Kofa Mountains. In fact, these mountains are named after the mine because this mine used to stamp its property, K of A, which was short for the King of Arizona Mine. This mine eventually became known just as the Kofa Mine. News of this discovery traveled fast, and within a year, there was a small settlement with around 100 people poking around the area, staking claims and mining gold. Like most mine camps back then, it was the easy alluvial gold that caught the attention of the miners, but within a short while the surface gold ran out and miners started looking for hard rock deposits. It is said that miners took out around $40,000 worth of alluvial gold down slope of the main vein, but the real prize to be had was the vein that became known as the Kofa vein. Some of the surface ore was very rich and was valued at $2,000 a ton in gold and silver. This is back when gold was only around $20 an ounce. One of the biggest problems with mining at this location was the lack of water. Water had to be hauled into town with mule trains, and ore had to be hauled out to be crushed. A small mill was set up at the closest available source of water, and that was 50 miles away. Several attempts at drilling water wells failed. However, in 1899, a well was drilled about 5 miles from the mine that struck water at a depth of 1,000 feet. This water was then piped from the wells to the mine site and to the town. Now that the mine had water, a new mill was constructed and the town started to grow. By 1900, there were around 300 people living there, and the town got a post office. Because this mine camp was so remote, it became more of a company town. There were a few boarding houses, a mess hall, a store, and a few saloons. Because families were moving here for jobs, a small school was also built. From 1900 to 1907, mining was good, and the population is said to have reached a high of 700 residents. The Kofa Mine was not a complex mine like a lot of other mines. Its main shaft was a simple inclined shaft of around 700 feet deep, with drifts running east and west, running to lengths of around 2,000 feet. Over the 10-plus years of mining, the mill pounded out around 200 tons of ore every day at a value of $40 a ton. But like so many old mines, the deeper they dug, the less valuable the ore became, and by 1910 the mine closed down. Now, just a couple of miles or so north of this mine, another small mine was located, and this mine became known as the North Star Mine. This mine consisted of 2 inclined shafts of 90 and 500 feet and had around 3,500 feet of working drifts. This mine also set up a 100-ton cyanide plant at its mill and had close to 350 workers. In fact, a small town was built here for the miners and their families. This town became known as Polaris, Arizona. However, by the late summer of 1911, the ore here was also depleted, and the mine shut down. Although the 2 mines closed down, the towns did not die off like a lot of other old mine camps. Small-scale mining continued on with both underground and placers. In 1918, a new company took over the Kofa Mine and did invest some money and reopened the Kofa Mine. However, by 1928, most of the town was vacant and the post office closed. Then during the 1950s, the area was mined for tungsten and manganese with little success. The North Star Mine is said to have produced just over $1 million in gold and silver. However, it was also known to have high-graders with sticky fingers working there, so an unknown amount of gold would have been pocketed over the years. Total production of gold and silver bullion from the Kofa Mine is said to have been $3.5 million when gold was just $20 an ounce. Altogether, this district is said to have produced 779,000 tons of ore, including 226,000 ounces of gold, 103,000 ounces of silver, 3.5 tons of lead, and a couple tons of copper. total production was valued at $4.8 million. You can still go out to this area today. The old mines are located within the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge. I hope you enjoyed this short story about the King of Arizona mine. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more old lost mine stories.